Welcome everybody. I'm not on the screen, but welcome everybody. There we go. Welcome everybody to the stream. I'm your host, Jesus, and this is Respawn Please, the weekly video game podcast where two dum-dums come together to talk all things video games. And I have to hold my mic like a walkie-talkie because if I don't, you won't be able to hear me. Al, you're with me today.
Hey,
we're back. No, we've been gone for a month and some odd weeks.
Yeah.
You've been streaming a little bit.
Yeah.
I saw you playing Overwatch, which is disgusting.
Superliminal.
You played Subliminal. Superliminal, is that what it is?
Superliminal.
Yeah, whatever. How was that?
It was fun. It was very interesting. Basically, on the stream, whoever watched it, or if you watched it when it was live, excuse me, it basically reminds me of Stanley Parable a lot, just because of the narrator and the dialogue and kind of the way the story unfolds. Pretty fun game overall. Really quick play. Maybe I think about 2 to 3 hours. Wasn't long at all, but great game.
Sounds like utter garbage. Also, I forgot to start streaming on my end. Recording on my end. Whoopsies. So, cut off a little bit there, but it should be fine. Anyways. It's been a while. I had predicted that we wouldn't be back until like November. Remember? I made that prediction. True. I was like, I'm going to say November. But we're back. It's September. We would have been back sooner, but you had to go do something last weekend.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I had to go out of town.
Yeah. But we're back. I am recovering from COVID. I already got COVID here in Japan. Woo.
Oof.
But we're feeling good. It's been a crazy month for me, moving and stuff. Everyone can go check that out at our Relax and Respawn last episode of that.
Oh yeah,
where we talked about my time in Japan and Ell, soon to be a married man.
Very true. It's coming up in about 15 days, I think. 15.
Yeah. Whew. Everything's about to change. Not really.
Exactly.
You're gonna get married, and then next thing you know, you're going to be you're gonna turn into. I just flickered off. You're gonna turn into. My brain just went blank. Trying to think of who you're gonna turn into. What is the name of the boys? The boys. What's his name? The crazy dude.
The crazy. Homelander.
Homelander, yeah. You're going to turn into Homelander. You're going to get married and for some reason turn into Homelander.
It's so funny. No,
it's going to be great.
I hope not Homelander. I do, even though I did enjoy his speech that he gave when he finally was like off the deep end and he was just like, I'm better than everybody type of speech. I was like, he kind of is telling the truth. Maybe not going about it the right way, but Yeah.
He should still be a good person. He's just not a good person, I mean, he thinks he's a good person.
Of course.
There you go. But yeah, so we're going to talk about video games today. We're not going to ramble on about random shit.
Oh yeah.
We're going to talk about video games. And we have a lot of video games to talk about today. So Al, I want to start with what you've been playing because I'm interested. But before we get into that, we have a whole lot of stuff to talk about because there was a state of play for PlayStation. I hope you watched it. If you didn't, that's fine. There was also a Nintendo Direct, which I hope you watched. If you didn't, that's fine. And then there's a whole bunch of nonsense happening with Unity. I had originally planned for us to just talk about Baldur's Gate 3 because we've both been playing that, and I'm interested in hearing your thoughts about Baldur's Gate 3. And on top of Sea of Stars and Starfield and all that. But then all of this stuff had to happen this week.
I know.
So I was we have to talk about some of this stuff. So let's start with what you've been playing, and let's talk about a little bit about Baldur's Gate because I'm interested in your experience so far because I think your experience is very different from mine because you have someone you're playing with.
Yeah.
Where I am playing it solo. So I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on that experience. So what you've been playing.
Okay, so first I'll start with Baldur's Gate 3. I've been playing that. I think we've been playing it on and off for a while. I'm playing it with my partner, of course. She created a character that's like this mystical magical wizard / druid, if I remember correctly. Huh?
A drow.
Oh, sorry, a drow. She's over there in the corner. It's a drow. It's super cool. And so, of course, you're more familiar with D&D than I am. And so I know only maybe the basics of it. I don't really know too much, about it, but we started playing it and I think we haven't made it super far, but we're no spoilers, but we had just accomplished a little bit ago rescuing the druid, the bear guy.
Yeah, the head druid of the grove.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and so it's been
Helson or something like that.
Yeah, Helson. Yeah, and it's been pretty cool. Like it's interesting because like I think what I really enjoyed about it is just like the moments of dialogue that you have with each character. I enjoyed the kind of choose your own adventure type of way of going about things. It's super cool. Even the simple, the like you can persuade people or use your kind of wisdom in a way or intimidate people. It reminds me of even though it's not like it, even though I'm comparing it, not like it at all. But whenever I played out the Outer Worlds, where you have your character's abilities, which you're really good at, and what maybe you can pull off when it comes to certain dialogues. Even the turn-based combat is like super fun to me. Just trying to figure out like, okay, how are we going to strategize in defeating these goblins or defeating these creatures, and so to speak. Overall, all the characters have been pretty cool so far. My partner doesn't necessarily like all of them, but the characters that can join your team, I would say her favorite's probably Gale. She really likes Gale a lot. Gale's pretty cool.
The wizard. Yeah,
Gale's
the
wizard.
Cool.
He's pretty cool. She
have
did.
You,
go ahead.
Yeah, have you all uncovered his like secrets that you have to do?
Well, some of them.
Yeah.
I'll say this: the only thing that we've uncovered is that he needs to consume magical items in order to keep the whatever it is at bay. And so we haven't gone super deep into. He hasn't opened up to as what's going on. We always ask, and he's like, "Don't worry about that. You don't have to know about that." And so.
Yeah,
we're at that, and so I'm pretty sure there's more to it and everything, but we haven't got there just yet. Okay. Outside of that, I will say I did have my own campaign, but I didn't even really start it because I was so invested in hers, and so we've just been playing her campaign as of right now. Yeah. But we're having a blast with it.
Nice. Yeah, fuck me. I love Baldur's Gate 3 so much.
Yeah, it's a great game.
The game is so good. It is so good. I'm going to look at my Steam account real quick just to see how many hours I've already put into it. Granted, some of the hours that I've put into it are from its early access days, because I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3 since it like entered early access 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. And it was like 2 or 3 years ago. It was during like the height of the pandemic or right before the pandemic that it entered. If I'm remembering correctly, I might be wrong. Someone correct me if I am. Why is Steam not opening? Steam open.
Steamo.
Why do you hate me, Steam? But I've been playing so much of it. It's been the comfort game for me when I moved here, because when I moved to Japan, and it was the game that I installed in the hotel. I told the story already, but I installed Baldur's Gate 3 through the hotel Wi-Fi before I left Nashville, because it released the day that I was going to Nashville, and then the day afterwards I was flying to Japan. And so it took like 14 hours to install because the Wi-Fi, horrible. It's hotel Wi-Fi. And then couldn't play it on the plane or anything because just the seats weren't comfortable enough for that or anything like that. And then I did start playing it though when I actually got to my my apartment, the one that I'm in now. Yeah. And it's been the comfort game. It's been the game that kind of has gotten me through the initial culture shock, the initial super duper change of going from one place to another. It's just been a comfort thing for me, and I adore it, man. I think this game, the writing is so good for all the characters, and even the minor characters that you meet along the way. Some of the quest lines, especially you're still in Act 1, but there's still so much you can do. I find it fascinating, and I'm interested in because I know I kind of spoiled something for you by mentioning, hey, you should talk to animals. Yeah, have you been doing that?
Yes, we have, but it sucks because I think we had come across our first animal that we could talk to. It was it was around the same time. We haven't met the owl bear yet, or the owl.
Oh, the owl bear, yeah.
But we've
gone to the cave.
No, it's been right there. But I think we were going to go into the cave, but then my partner was like, "Let's go check out this other thing first." And so I'm like, "Oh, that I just mentioned." I was like, "Oh, owl bear." I was like, Jesus has mentioned that, and so I was like, "Okay, we'll come back to meet it." But around that cave, we met the dog who was with, I guess, some sort of mailman, and they had got killed or something. Died. Yeah. And so I was like, "Oh, we need to talk to this dog. Like, we need to talk to this dog, see what's going on." But at the time, we didn't have like any type of spell to talk to animals or like a potion or anything. And so I was like, we have to find one so we can talk to him.
Yeah, Scratch. That dog is Scratch. Spoiler: he can join your camp.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah,
he's So it's worth doing. He's cool. Scratch is cool. Doesn't really do much after you meet him and he comes to your camp, but he's cool. I like nice. Scratch. He's kind of doofy.
Gotcha.
But so make sure you talk to animals. You'll uncover a lot of secrets. There's like, even in the Grove, there's a couple of things you can talk to. There's a boar that you can talk to. There's a bear that you can talk to. There's a rat that will take you to a treasure. And all this other stuff. So like, it's worth like making sure like you talk to some animals. A lot of them don't have anything, but that's like the same with any NPC in the game, where some NPCs just don't have anything for you because they're just there to be there. But there's like, it's worth always having like a potion or two for speak to animals so you can talk to them. That's just my tip for everybody. Speak to animals always. I've been I have two characters that I've been playing. I have my I recreated my ranger gnome that I had in my campaign for the longest time in my real life D&D stuff. His name was Gleekus Meekus. Yeah. His name was Gleekus Meekus, and I've been playing as him. And then I have a monk that I just love monks, and so I created a monk just to play as a monk. My monk is in Act 2. Gleekus is still in Act 1. I haven't completed the game yet, but that's just because there's so much to do.
Yeah, there's a lot,
and like I'm trying to do everything when I probably shouldn't, but like I've been trying to do everything, and I'm enjoying the game so much. This is probably my game of the year. There's still a chance. There's still a chance that like Alan Wake, our Spider-Man 2 next month, comes out and just like dominates, but it's very improbable that'll happen just because like there's just so much to Baldur's Gate. Not just with the writing, it's similar. I have a similar feeling with it when it comes, like I did with Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, where there's just so much you can do to like the environment and stuff. Like you don't necessarily create like these large scale things like you do in Tears of the Kingdom, but you can manipulate the environment to different things. Like I sent you that TikTok video of that guy just picking up bodies and throwing them at people, right? So like little things like that you can do and stuff. It's just it's so fascinating to see and play with, like just like the mechanics and like combining different spells together to like, you know, make things happen even more. Like, you know, you can cover somebody in acid and then throw fire at them and they burn even more and stuff like that. So it's just like finding like little combos like that and stuff makes it all the more exciting, and seeing how spells can work together, seeing how you can combine potions and stuff. Have you gotten to the character Karlach yet? Karlach,
I think we might have gotten to that character. I might have heard of their name. I can't quite remember.
She's a tiefling.
Tiefling.
And she's a tiefling. She hot. She's you can get a potion. I can't remember the name of it, but like it makes her super big, and she's the barbarian of the group. And so when she gets like super big, she can like, it's just so cool. Like the different things that can happen. Nice. Man, there's so much about this game that I want to talk about, but I feel like I would spoil everything since you're still in Act 1. There's not like a lot of stuff I can say, but like Act 1 is intense. And I feel like so far I felt like, again, I haven't completed the game, so I can't really make the comment, but each act feels like it's its own game in terms of like, oh, I got a complete experience out of Act 1. Yes, there's more questions that I want to know and stuff, but like Act 2 is like the sequel, you know?
Gotcha.
So I feel like I feel like Larian Studios really spoiled us with all of this content, because like Act 1 is like Act 1's like 20 to 25 hours unless you like speed rush it. But if you take your time and really explore, there's a lot you can easily get like 20 to 30 hours out of the first act. Yeah, definitely. Maybe even more, because I'm sure there was stuff I missed when I was taking my time. But like you can easily get so much content out of the just one act that it feels like it's its own game. Each act feels like its own game. So exactly, there's a lot to do, because this is like 100+ hour game. If you try to find everything and then like, you know, replay it to try different classes and just try different routes, like with my monk right now, I'm trying to resist the tadpole. I don't want to give, like, I refuse to use the power of the tadpole. Yeah. And then Gleekus, I'm letting Gleekus use the power of the tadpole. Okay. Yeah. Because that's part of Gleekus's thing. Gleekus makes deals all the time. Gleekus is a deal maker. He's even happy to make a deal with have you seen the demon devil guy that's like, hey, I'll take that tadpole out of you. Yeah. Give me your soul or whatever. Yeah. Like Gleekus is like, hell yeah, let's do this. To the disappointment of everybody on his squad. That's like hilarious. Shadowheart was like, dude, what the hell's wrong with you? Just like, goes Gleekus. Gleekus will make deals with anybody. That was actually a big thing for him in my D&D campaign, my real life D&D campaign. It would make my companions mad, because they'd be like, dude, stop doing that. It's like, it's Gleekus. Gleekus is doing it. I can't help it. But yeah. So, but yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 is probably going to be my game of the year. Like I said that about Diablo, you know? Yeah, exactly. And now Diablo's good. But the thing is, like, there's another game that came out that we're going to talk about, but we're going to keep that conversation specific to review, please, because we are going to start some video game reviews soon. But I do want to talk about Starfield and Sea of Stars, because I know you've been playing Sea of Stars. I don't know if you. I don't think we've really talked about Starfield together. No. But let's start with Sea of Stars, because like I finally bit the bullets this past week, because I had COVID, and so I've just been sitting at home doing nothing. So I've just been playing Sea of Stars, Starfield, and Baldur's Gate 3. Been jumping back through all of those. I feel like those are 3 really good games to jump back and forth between, because like all of them are really good. I don't think I'm probably as high on Sea of Stars as you. Okay. So I want to hear your thoughts about Sea of Stars, and then I'll give mine. No, definitely. I'm still playing through Sea of Stars. I've only gotten to I've gotten past the point where well, I don't want to spoil it. I've been playing for a little bit. I'll say this about Sea of Stars: it's a joy for me to play it, because it's a very. We did mention this off the off stream and off the podcast through messaging, where Sea of Stars is such a relaxing, laid back game. It doesn't require a lot. You don't have to do a lot. The only thing I think that we talked about before was that I love this game. I think it's beautiful. The art of it is amazing. The combat is very easy. There's nothing really difficult about it. The only thing I remember talking to you about it, I was like, I think the story just might be the one thing about it that might lack a little bit. Not in a sense to where it's kind of like a deal breaker, but because of how relaxing the game is, and you kind of, as you're going along in the campaign or the story mode of it, it's like, you know, it kind of feels like you're just kind of playing it to relax, so to speak, if that makes sense. It's nothing too hard to understand about like what's going on. Whereas I feel like Baldur's Gate is a little bit more complex in that sense as the story. Same thing, I guess you could say maybe for Starfield, but Sea of Stars is very much a chill, relaxing game. I enjoy it a lot. The combat, you're just going in and out. Nothing too difficult about it, but overall, I think it's a great game. It's not my game of the year. I think it's a contender. It's a contender up there. I think for so far of this year, I would put it probably in my top 5, if not top 10. Just because it's such an easy game to pick up. I will say this about it though. The beginning, if you can't hold on past the beginning a little bit, I could see some people being like, this is taking too long to get into the actual story of the game. Or excuse me, into the actual, like, let me play instead of learning this, backstory of everything. But other than that, I think that it's a great game. Yeah. My Sea of Stars experience so far has been, it's fine. We're going to talk about my like lengthy thoughts on review, please. But like, so far I'm enjoying it to an extent.
Yeah.
I think it's a great game. Like visually, it's beautiful. The music is fantastic.
Yes,
Probably
great
one of the
music.
best soundtracks for a game this year. The soundtrack is amazing. But that's about as far as for me as it goes.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about it later. But like, I do think it's a good game, and I see why people like it, and I think it does deserve like its ratings that it's getting. It's just, it's not really for me.
Gotcha.
It's not really for me. As much as I wish it could be. And so, we'll talk about it more later. Be on the lookout for that. We are going to review Sea of Stars. Baldur's Gate 3 is not going to get reviewed, but that's a whole nother story there. And then the other game that I've been playing, I don't know if you've been touching Starfield yet, but I've been in Starfield. I've been deep in it. Let me tell you. When I say I've been playing these 3 games, Baldur's Gate, Starfield, and Sea of Stars, it's been Starfield like 80% of the time. Baldur's Gate, like, maybe, what did I just say with Starfield?
80%?
Let's just say 80%. So maybe Baldur's Gate like 15, 16%, and then just a little bit of Sea of Stars.
Yeah.
But Sea of Stars, Starfield just like bit me and won't let me go. It just won't let me go. I love it. Like, I don't think it's as good a game as like Baldur's Gate 3 by any means, but I think it does scratch an itch for me that only Bethesda RPGs can do.
Yeah. Games
like Skyrim and Fallout and all that. Like Starfield is just that, but something about it just bites into me and makes me want to keep playing. Unfortunately, my laptop is old as fuck. Ooh. My laptop, I bought it in 2015.
Yeah.
it was top of the line in 2015.
Yeah.
Not so good now. So I've actually had to start playing Starfield because it's been crashing consistently. And so I've been having a lot of issues with that. And it's my hardware. It's not the game itself.
Yeah.
Though I've heard people have issues, but like my issues are just like my laptop's old. Yeah. So I have stopped, but I was able to get like almost 30 hours of Starfield.
Oh, nice.
In total, over the last the last 2 weeks or so. Okay. So I've played a good amount, and I love it. This game's so good. I'm there are a lot of things that we can talk about it, a lot of issues that I have with it. Yeah. But we'll talk about that in our review, please, for it. Yes. But I do have a lot of like little nitpicky things, little minor issues, and like seeing these are like issues that people are also having. But there is a lot to talk about. How have you dived into Starfield at all?
So I did dive into it. I'll say not as much as you. I haven't gotten too far. If I want to remember, the farthest that I've gotten is that I just barely made it. Almost, I want to say, early on in the game to just after learning how to fly in space. So I'm still in the very beginning, but
so you're like 5 minutes in,
5-10 minutes in. But I'll say that watching other people play it has been really interesting. Just because it's just maybe it has to do with me loving space. I love like the idea of space and just all these different planets you can visit. And then Bethesda.
I'm glad you like the idea of space because space is a very real thing.
Exactly. But I think that the character creation to me was really cool. It was funny, me and my partner, because I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3 with her. She's playing Starfield with me. And so we created a character that looked just like me in Starfield. So it's like almost close to how I look in a sense. And so it's been pretty fun. Learning how to fly in space was really cool. It was a little difficult for me, but it was pretty cool. Other than that, I've enjoyed it. Like I can't really say too much just because I'm not in as deep as you have been. But other than that, it seems like pretty cool. So I'll get a chance to play it more this weekend, and then just keep diving into it.
Yeah. Have you? Do you remember what your starting like background was and all that?
Yes, my starting background was I was introverted. I was introverted.
Yeah, me
diplomat. Having to do. It's not per se.
You're an introverted diplomat.
Yeah, an introverted. It's funny enough. Yeah, introverted diplomat, and then The last either had to do with what was it, like freak, I can't remember the last one, but I know those two because I laughed at it because it gives you the option for introvert, extrovert, medic, and all these different things, and I think it had something to do with introvert, diplomat, and then something maybe with like being a pirate or like a gunslinger or something like that. But it was super funny. But I thought that was cool, reading all the descriptions just of everything to give you kind of like a backstory,
Yeah. I did introverts, and then I did the one with the parents.
Oh yeah.
Where you have parents and you send them like 2% of your money every week or whatever. And then I also did the house. You have a house, and the house is pretty nice. I haven't actually gone inside because I don't have the money for it.
That's hilarious.
It's a lot of credits to just like buy it outright. You can like buy it, you can like pay for it outright, or you can do like a weekly payment type thing until you pay off the full thing. You can do a mortgage or whatever. And so I'm just gonna pay it all outright instead of doing it like by a certain time period and stuff, because that seems stressful. I don't want to have like that stress in the game. But and then my main background was I want to say it was like the cyber hacking thing. I did like cyber hacking. I can't remember what it was called.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was like the background gave me unlocked the first like skill point of stealth and security and lock picking, or lock picking, and then pickpocketing.
Yeah.
Pick the pickpockets. I've been running around New Atlas. Did you make it to New Atlas?
I don't think
it's
so.
It's the first city you go to. Yeah. I just as soon as I landed, I started picking pockets out of everybody in New Atlantis. I was doing it to the guards. I was taking the guards' ammo, I'm just pickpocketing everybody.
That's
pickpocketing everybody in that game. Sometimes it works. Sometimes I have to like run away.
Oh no.
But like, I haven't really even like dived into the main story with Starfield yet. I've done like the basic opening mission and stuff.
Yeah.
But then like, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go over there and do something over there because that looks more interesting than whatever you're telling me.
Exactly.
That's basically what's been happening for me. But the game, I love it. It's fantastic. I think everybody should go play it.
Definitely.
I definitely see because it's sitting at an 86 right now on OpenCritic, and I definitely see why it's sitting at an 86 because there are some pretty glaring issues. Yeah. And I do want to, I don't know if I should want to ask this here or if I should save it. I'll ask it here because this isn't really pertaining to a review, but based on what you've seen, since I know you're not too into it, do you think Starfield delivered on what it promised?
I think that Starfield, that's a good question. Hold on before I say this. Do I think Starfield delivered on what it promised? I think so. I think this is so. I'll say it like this. I think Starfield said it was going to deliver a bunch of things, but I think that in hearing what they were wanting to deliver, I kind of heard and kind of expected something else, and so I think that my expectation of Starfield was met. So basically, no, I don't think they delivered, but I don't think that's bad in a way to where it was like very bad or anything like that, because I've seen a lot of people's takes on Starfield, and this comes with that whole thing with video games sometimes that me and you just don't like, where people kind of pick sides and they're like, oh, this game's horrible, and I think that for the game that they delivered, I think it's still a good game. I don't think it's game of the year, but I still think that it is a good, fun, playable game. To some, it might be game of the year, and I respect that, but I think that for the game that we did get, I think that it's a pretty good game. I'll say. Yeah. But at the same time, this is coming off of the heels of all, what's the Redfall? This is coming off the heels of like Redfall and all these other games that were kind of felt lackluster that was coming out of like Xbox and stuff. And so I think Starfield.
Whoa, let's calm down there for a second, because Hi-Fi Rush was amazing. Okay.
Oh yeah, Hi-Fi Rush was.
Everybody
amazing.
Conveniently forgets Hi-Fi Rush, but like Hi-Fi Rush was amazing. Okay. Yeah, Redfall sucked. Okay, I admit it. Redfall sucked. I wanted to believe, but Hi-Fi Rush was amazing. Okay, so they had two amazing games this year.
Exactly.
Possibly a third one with Horizon, or not Horizon, but Forza. whatever number they're on coming out next month. So.
Exactly. But I think that for the timing of everything, I think that it was a positive outcome for them. I think that for Xbox and everybody, because I can definitely see myself playing. Maybe not to the extent of Baldur's Gate 3, but I could definitely see myself playing Starfield for a very long time, just because it seems like there's a lot to do to me. And so I think overall they did a pretty good job, and it was a good bounce back from, what happened to Redfall, and just trying to kind of like get away from like that big letdown that it was,
Yeah, I agree. Starfield definitely it wasn't the game of a generation like people were saying it needed to be or anything like that. And I do think that was like expectations set too high, and I probably even agreed with it at some point. But like looking back at it, it's like those expectations were way too high.
Oh yeah,
because this at the end of the day is it's a Bethesda RPG, and a Bethesda RPG you kind of know what you're getting. And I think we all expected. I think a lot of people expected another groundbreaking Skyrim type thing. And it's like, well, when you look at Skyrim also had many, many years of development and like updates and stuff like that too. So like Skyrim wasn't perfect when it came out. It was a really good game when it came out, but it wasn't perfect. I still don't think Skyrim's perfect. Fallout 4, people hate it or love it, Exactly. And like I feel like that's the case with a lot of Bethesda games itself, like Bethesda Game Studio games. When you look at Elder Scrolls and Fallout, it's like you either love them or you hate them. Yeah, and I feel like that's the case with Starfield. It's I don't see too many people sitting in the middle ground where they go like, the game's fine. Yeah, I see a lot of people going, oh yeah, this is amazing, or no, this isn't for me. And it's like, that sounds like a Bethesda game to me, at least.
No, definitely.
And with that means that does mean that there's millions of people out there, because Starfield has already breaking like minor records and stuff like that for Xbox and all that stuff. And like, they had like 6 million players in the launch window. So it's like, there's a lot of people playing it, and, Bethesda knows how to make fun and good, interesting games. And so that's at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Like,
exactly.
I don't think anybody at Microsoft or Bethesda are going to be like, this game's a failure, because it's not. It's not a failure by any means. Like, exactly. They are more. I'm sure they're more than happy with the 6 million players. And all of that. So
definitely.
Now it'll be interesting to see like what that player split is, like how many people are paying full price for it versus how many people are playing it through Game Pass. I think that would be an interesting conversation to have, like to just see those numbers, to see if there are more people just buying it outright, or if there was a substantial amount of people going through Game Pass to play it through Game Pass. Yeah, I think that'll be an interesting thing. If they ever reveal those numbers, they probably won't, but maybe they will. So I think that would be a fun, interesting conversation to have, though. So we'll see. Maybe Microsoft will pony up and reveal it all.
Exactly.
But outside of all that, was there anything else you've been playing? I know you were playing the Overwatch stuff. How's the story crap?
Oh, so
fine.
I'll say this. It's just okay. It's just okay. The only thing
so
is
I don't need a rush to play it.
No, not at all. I'll say that I'll say that it was fun for a little bit, but that quickly died down after you kind of see a little bit of a pattern when it comes to the enemies and things like that, and so it becomes a little bit predictable, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But I think that I'll say this: I'm per se, I am speaking for myself, that I wasn't upset that I paid $15 for it, for the story parts, just because the story itself I think was pretty cool and very interesting. The lore of Overwatch was pretty fun. But the gameplay of it, I think after a while, kind of felt like, this just feels very repetitive at times and certain times. And I think it would be a lot more fun if you played it with your friends versus like if you played it by yourself. Because I played it by myself with random people online. And so it might have been different if me, you, Blitz, and Dove all decided to play it. But I think it was just okay, so to speak. Yeah. I'll say this.
Is that the general consensus?
Yeah,
around it? Because I haven't really seen anybody talk about it since.
Yeah, so I'd say it's kind of in the middle, where I think the general consensus, everybody it's okay. You have a couple people who say that, this is horrible, and this just it just sucks. It's not amazing or anything. I don't think there's many people that say that it's amazing. I think a majority of it is kind of in the middle, where it's like it's okay. And then you have a couple outliers who are like, this just is horrible. So,
okay.
Yeah, I will say
that's kind of what is this game going to save Overwatch?
I think it's barely.
I don't even know if Overwatch needs saves.
Yeah, I think that the story of it. I don't even really think it did anything, and I don't say that in a negative way. I just think that it just gave it content to like keep it pumping, keep it going. Yeah. Other than that, I don't think it did anything negative to it, so to speak. For my opinion.
Okay. Okay.
I will say this, that I did have an accomplishment, and I accomplished this when I went out of town because I brought my Switch with me. I finally, in what's the freaking card game? Slay the Spire. Yeah, Slay the Spire. Finally, with the defect, I beat it and I got to the heart. Finally, after so long, it took me a while, but I finally figured out a pattern.
Yeah, what did you use?
I used the claw deck, but what helped was I had the claw deck as well as instead of lightning, I used the frost for defense.
For the defense, yeah.
Yeah,
and then frost hordes. Yeah.
And what helped me a lot was one of the ruins was that helped me so much because when you have those claws that are like zero energy, I had a thing that every time that I had nothing in my hand, I would get something, and I had a lot of claws, and so it would just be constant claw. Yeah, it just going. And then eventually
nice.
I got it, and then I finally beat it, and I was so happy, and I was like, I can finally move on to what's the last one? It's the monk, or what is it?
The Watcher.
Watcher, that's what it is. So now I can move on to the Watcher.
Oh, you already did the Silent?
Yeah, did the Silent already. Did the what's the first one? The Ironclad. And so Ironclad, Watch, Defect, and the Silent. And so now I move on to the Watcher. Nice.
Yeah, I still I've been playing it a lot as well. Slay the Spire.
Oh, nice.
If I'm not playing Starfield or Baldur's Gate 3, the little bit of Sea of Stars, I have Slay the Spire on with watching something on YouTube and stuff. And just playing it. I'm trying to get so I got all the trophies on PlayStation, and now I'm trying to do that on Steam because I'm weird. So that was my accomplishment before I left to Japan, was getting all the trophies on PlayStation, and now I'm trying to replicate that on Steam, trying to get all the achievements on Steam. So
it's a fun game.
I love Slay the Spire. It's great.
Yeah,
it's a good turn your brain off and just go for the flow, man.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, Elle, we're going to move on from the fun game talk to talk about something that's not so fun.
Oh, boy.
This past week, are you familiar with Unity, the game engine, and the company?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Yeah. For those who aren't familiar with Unity, Unity is used in a lot of video games. Specifically, a lot of indie developers use Unity, but there's also some bigger developers that use Unity, but it's mostly used by indie developers. And this past week, Unity, the company, decided to change some policies around. And so this is straight from the Unity blog. Effective January 1st, 2024, we will introduce a new Unity runtime fee that's based on game installs. We will also add cloud-based asset storage, unit dev op tools, and AI at runtime at no extra cost to Unity subscription plans this November. Games qualify for the Unity runtime fee after two criteria have been met. One, the game has passed a minimum revenue threshold in the last 12 months. And two, the game has passed a minimum lifetime install count. We set high revenue and game install thresholds to avoid impacting those who have yet to find scale, meaning they don't need to pay the fee until they have reached significant success. So let's just start there, Elle. Let's just start there. So this news broke, and unsurprising, the news broke. I saw it. I was like, oh, that's weird. Yeah. And then, boy, oh boy, by feed, going through the feed, there was just a lot of upset developers going, what the hell is this, Unity? Why are you doing this? what is the point of this? You're going to screw us over. It's been kind of crazy. There's been a lot of developers going like, we're going to stop using Unity. We're going to not use this anymore. The devs for Cult of the Lamb tweeted out that they were going to delete Cult of the Lamb on January 1st. So if you want to play Cult of the Lamb, you should buy it now and play it. Yeah, we'll see if that's true. We'll see if that's true or not, if they actually delete it. But like, yeah, there's a lot of upset devs right now about this new policy shift, and for good reason. Like, they say they set a threshold and all of that we set a high threshold, but they didn't specify really what that threshold was. It could mean anything. There's no criteria of what it could potentially be. And the fact that at the time that they announced this, at the time of their announcement, it has backtracked a little bit, and we'll talk about the backtracking, but at the time of announcing it, it counted every single install, meaning a person could uninstall, uninstall, but like every time you install it, you were gonna get a fee incurred and stuff. And so that is the reaction that people had to that at first, was like, holy shit, this is what the hell you doing? You're gonna screw us over, especially for indie developers that, like, yes, Cult of the Lamb was a big hit. Yes, Among Us is a big hit. Yeah, they're big hits, of course. They have large player bases and stuff, but they're still a small company, the Among Us team is still small. The Cult of the Lamb team is still small. I believe Sea of Stars was also made in the Unity engine. That's a small team. Like, these are small teams that are going to, even though they have these successful games, doesn't mean they necessarily can suddenly fund the 20 cent per install fee that has been incurred, like, that's just like wild, because like that can really screw over a lot of these indie developers that don't necessarily have the means to be able to pay that in the long run. Like, because like I was seeing math done, like where like someone was like, if we get like 10,000 installs, 20 cents or whatever, we'll have to pay some, it's like, I can't remember how much money it was, but it was like, it was a crazy amount of money. And this is like, holy crap. Like, it screws over these developers in a lot of ways.
Exactly. It's very crazy. It's like, it seems very capitalistic, very greedy. And it sucks because I guess it's like, developers used Unity for a long time, and they've been using it without this whole new rule policy coming in. And so it's like, to kind of get a surprise, it kind of reminds me, this is more in the music industry realm. So there is this company called Waves. It's basically a digital plug-in thing where people can buy things outright and they own this thing, right? Well, then there was a moment that happened where they announced that they were moving from that way of purchasing to a subscription based, and then that basically from here on out you would not be allowed to buy it outright anymore. You would have to subscribe in order to use these things, and you'd have to pay a monthly fee. And it caused such a big uproar to the point to where everybody was upset in the music industry, and that they had to backtrack and say, okay, we're not going to do that anymore. We'll offer it as an alternative, but you'll still own your things and you can still buy these items outright. And so that's what I'm hoping happens here in some way. I don't know which way it would go, but it's very, what happens is, like, I think it'd be different if it didn't feel like they were just coming because they wanted to get money. Because that's all it feels like. It just feels like they are like, how can we take a piece of this pie here? And like, it feels like they don't have the developers in mind, as far as they just want, like I said, they just want to get money. They just want to make more money. That's all it sounds like.
Yeah, it definitely does. And so let's go into the backtracking here. So Unity did release a statements to kind of backtrack. Over on Axios, there's a good sort of like follow write-up by Stephen Totillo, who has a very good write-up about everything that's been going on with this. But I'm going to go into the intrigue, as it's titled in this article. The intrigue: Unity has scrambled to clarify and in one key case, alter what it has said about its policies around fees. After initially telling Axios earlier Tuesday that a player installing a game, deleting it and installing again would result in multiple fees, Unity's Witten told Axios that the company would actually only charge for an initial installation. A spokesperson told Axios that Unity had regrouped to discuss this issue. He hoped this would allay fears of install bombing, where an angry user could keep deleting and reinstalling a game to rack up fees to punish a developer. But an extra fee will be charged if a user installs a game on a second device, say a Steam Deck, after installing a game on a PC. So it's still kind of shitty, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So like, you know, I've been debating about getting a Steam Deck and everything. So it's like, I'm going to install a game on my Steam Deck, but then I also want to play it on my actual PC. I'm going to now make this developer, if they're using the Unity engine, have to pay multiple fees. So it becomes a thing where, well, shoot, I'm in this situation where I don't want to screw over the developer, but I also want to play the game that I paid for. Yeah. And then honestly, as a consumer, it makes me not want to purchase anything that has Unity, but then I also still want to support the developer. It becomes so complicated, especially when you look across the aisle to Epic Games and what they do with Unreal Engine, and like their very friendly policies towards using their engine. Yeah. Like, it's like almost a 9-day, and it's almost like, Unity, what are you doing? You're kind of like pushing people going to Epic. And granted, Unreal Engine is a little bit more complicated to work with. I mean, I'm not a game developer, so I don't really know, but like that's the general feeling that I have towards it, because the Unity was meant to be like this accessible engine that anybody could use and pick up and like develop games on. Unreal Engine is sort of like a step up from that, you know, where you start going into making these bigger than life games and stuff. So, but even then, like, it just feels like Unity, you're going to kind of push people to go to these other engines, whether it's Unreal Engine or whether it's RPG Maker. I don't know who's using RPG Maker to make games, but you know, there are games like that. If you go on Steam, you can see plenty of those. So like, but just like Unity is just like, you're kind of like pushing away these people from using your stuff with these policies that you're having. And then they took it a step further. I did not include this link here, so give me a second. I am interested in like hearing your thoughts about this backtracking they're doing.
Okay, yeah. Nice. Oh man.
So on the backtracking side, like, how do you feel? Like, do you think they're going to keep backtracking as the time goes on?
I think if companies and developers keep pushing, I think they will continue to backtrack. I think what it reminds me of, they're trying to see how far they can go, you know, before people and developers are like, hey, stop here, you know. So it initially started with that first one where, like, you know, if they install and uninstall, then reinstall, and so on to speak, multiple charges. It almost feels like they were testing the waters, and they were like, let's see, is everybody okay with this? And then developers pushed back and said, you know what, we're just going to stop using Unity. We're going to, you know, take these games off the market because we don't want to pay for these like penalties, so to speak. And then they backtracked once. I think that if people keep, you know, kind of like holding them what am I trying to say? I think that if people keep kind of making noise about how crazy this is and how greedy it is or how unfair it is to indie developers especially, I think they'll slowly backtrack even more and more and more, because to me it just seems like Unity was just trying to see if like how much can we get away with, in a way, you know? Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good. There's an article over on Windows Central that talks about this by Jez Gordon, mentioning that Unity is expecting they're backtracking on this about developers, but it's now on Xbox and PlayStation and Steam to pay the install fee rather than developers, and that I'm like. And that like broke yesterday or earlier today for folks, and I remember I saw that and I was like, oof. I like texted you immediately. I was like, dude, this is fucking wild.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll get away with that.
Does Xbox know that? Yeah. Does Microsoft know that they're paying these fees? Does Sony? Does Nintendo? Like,
exactly.
Did they reach out and go, hey guys, just so you know, we love you. Also, you're paying our fees. What?
Exactly. And everybody's
like someone like poked their head and was like, hey, you're gonna pay our fees, right? And then they didn't even wait for an answer.
They just ran away.
Yeah. This is like, I saw that. I was like, I'd be interested to hear like what Microsoft and like the companies themselves are saying, like, because that seems wild, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Just making us be like, yeah, Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo, they'll pay for you the fees. You guys don't have to worry about it because it's like a subscription based. If it's on a subscription based server, the subscription owners will pay for it. It's like, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think, like, I can't imagine Microsoft or Sony or any company going, yeah, we'll pay the fees. Like,
exactly.
Especially on top of that, like in the case of like Xbox and Sony, they pay for like having exclusive rights to have their game on Game Pass or PS Plus and stuff like that. So I can't imagine them going like, oh yeah, we're going to pay you. And then we're also going to pay Unity engine people this stuff. And it's like, there's just this whole situation is wild to me. And like apparently like the Unity stuff has been going downhill for a while now. There's been controversy going back like several years now. Okay. And so like from what I'm understanding, like this is like the tipping point for a lot of developers, especially indie developers. They're like, man, there's been issues with Unity for a while now, and this seems like the last kind of straw where people are like, no, you need to just stop right now. Like you need to just do something different. So like, yeah, it's just so fascinating to see how this is all breaking down because like. This affects indie developers in such a huge way. Oh, yeah. And it kind of discourages people from going into any sort of development. Like, especially if they like potentially have a game that becomes a huge hit. Yeah. All of a sudden they wake up one day and like look at Among Us. Among Us suddenly became a huge hit when it didn't really have a player base or anything like that. Like one streamer played it, right? Mm-hmm. Like a group of popular streamers played it, and then all of a sudden Among Us is everywhere and people love it. And it happened so quickly. That also meant that like the team had to adjust very quickly. So if like something like that happens now, not only if the game becomes popular, they all of a sudden have fees that they weren't anticipating or weren't expecting that they suddenly have to pay to the Unity engine people because like their game suddenly became amazing, like, or suddenly took off for some reason or another. And like that really could potentially screw over the developers because they're not prepared for that, you know? Yeah. So very true. Like they don't necessarily have the finances to back it up or anything like that. So exactly. I think it's like going to, oh, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. I was going to say, I think it's going to be interesting because that last kind of redaction where they're like, oh no, Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo will just pay for it. I think it's going to be interesting. I think we'll see it go back even further, even hopefully potentially be like, you know what, guys, this was all a big joke. I'm sorry. We're sorry that we did this because it just seems like they're trying to say something, and it almost seems like when they released that latest statement, they're just like, "Don't worry, let's just say this. We'll figure it out later, and we'll just see what happens," you know. And so, I wouldn't be surprised if they backtrack all the way, or maybe if they try to redo something else, and they're like, "Okay, so instead of the fee, it'll be a one-time thing for the entire game." I don't know, but. It's going to be very interesting, I think, and probably the coming week we'll probably know something else of like Unity either backtracking the entire thing or they'll just try to reapproach it in a different way. Yeah, and then just to really quick bring this up, as of September 15th, so. Since this is U.S. based, it's still September 15th for you and folks in the U.S. It's the 16th for me. I'm from the future, y'all. Oh, whoa! There was a threat of violence on the Unity campus in San Francisco. Wow. In this article, it brought it up, and it was because disgruntled folks over the whole policy and the change and stuff. So, what did you? And then I want to bring this up too. The fallout over the pricing structure continues, with more developers pledging to leave Unity, including the developers of the popular Xbox Game Pass mainstay, Slay the Spire. Whoa! Some mobile developers have banded together and pledged to disable Unity's ad service within their games. They have an open letter that you can go to through the link. We'll provide the link to this article in the description below, so be on the lookout for that. Xbox developers from In Exile have mocked Unity's retroactive terms. Of course, it's not just like indie developers and stuff getting in on this. It's like, you know, companies within Microsoft, companies within Sony. Like a lot of people are just like, dude, you guys are fucking up real bad. Yeah, exactly. But on the topic of the violence, threats of violence, don't do that.
Do not do that.
Be more civil. It's not going to solve it. It's not going to solve anything.
Exactly.
It's just you're also taking it on people that may not necessarily have control over what the executives are deciding. So definitely don't do that. Because and that's the other thing too. There are people within Unity that are like trying to petition their own company to like, hey, let's backtrack. This is really bad. And they're just getting ignored by their higher up executives and stuff.
Yeah.
Because like you said earlier, all the executives really care about is the money. Capitalism, baby.
Yeah.
So, but just be mindful. Don't just attack somebody because they're part of Unity. Because 9 out of 10 times that person's probably not going to have any control whatsoever of what is being decided on. They're just happy to work there. Well, probably not happy to work there right now, but they're just happy to. They want to make a better place and make it better for folks. And so, just keep that in mind when you are looking at this. So that's just my. What is that? PSA, right?
Yeah,
Public
exactly.
service announcement to everybody.
Yes.
Be kind out there. Just be mindful. If you're going to get mad at anybody, get mad at the execs that are making this decision. But even then, don't threaten them with violence because that's not going to do anything. So
Exactly.
But yeah, so Unity right now, not in a good spot. Not in a freaking good spot. But you know what's in a good spot right now?
What's that?
You know what's in a really good spot? The rest of 2023 and the start of 2024 because PlayStation State of Play happened, Nintendo Direct happened, and there were so many games. I'm gonna break down if you want. I'm just gonna go through a list of games, and if you want me to stop, we can talk about it. I don't know did you have a chance to watch either one, State of Play or the Nintendo Direct?
I didn't watch either one of them, but I did catch a couple highlights of like the big games that were announced for Nintendo and for State of Play, and so I only know kind of like the big highlights.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to start with the State of Play recap. So it opens up. It's only 20-ish minutes long, fairly short, fairly quick. Love it. State of Play. I'm going to give this, I'll go ahead and get a rating and then we'll give a breakdown. Give it a 4 out of 5. It was really good, really tight.
Okay.
I liked everything they showed off. They had release dates for a lot of games. The big release date for a game is the important one, which we'll get into. But let's go. The first game they showed off was Baby Steps. This game, it's you remember that octopus game?
Yes, Octodad.
Yeah, it's sort of like that, but like with realistic humans. And then are you familiar with the game that got really popular over the summer where you just kept climbing, just go up or whatever it's called?
Yeah,
it's sort of like that. So it's like the Octodad and that, and you're just climbing. The humor was good. The trailer was really funny. So I would check it out if you can. But Baby Steps looks cool. I'm probably never going to play it. Roblox is finally coming to PlayStation 5. If you're into Roblox,
no.
Yeah. Did you ever play those?
No, that is definitely something for the younger generation. Not me per se. And so I've seen a lot of interesting. I guess kind of like gameplay from it because it started off as something and then people just took it, creators, and just like, kids just took it and created like a bunch of different things with it. It's crazy. Yeah.
It is crazy. I know my little cousins, when they were younger, they would play it and stuff. I remember watching them play it and just being like, that's cool. Then they showed off in State of Play, they showed off 2 PSVR 2 games. Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord. So if you're a Ghostbusters fan, you got something there. And then they showed off more Resident Evil 4 VR. So if you want Resident Evil 4 VR, and it is the remastered version, so it's the one that came out earlier this year. So you can get extra spooky, scary stuff if you want to do that with Resident Evil. And then Resident Evil 4 DLC Separate Ways got announced. It's actually coming out next week. So if you want more Resident Evil, and you want to play as Ada from Resident Evil, there you go. Then they showed off Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. Are you interested in Avatar at all?
I saw some gameplay of it. It looked okay to me. I'm not really big into Avatar, and so I thought it was okay.
You don't like the blue cat people?
I think the Na'vi are very cool, but as far as the game, not really.
Yeah, I did laugh at this because I was watching I was watching the State of Play through live reacts with Kind of Funny.
Yeah.
And one of the hosts brought something up that I was like, yeah, I kind of agree with this. He like lost it when they were like wearing normal human clothing. I was like, yeah, it doesn't really make sense, does it?
No.
Yeah. Anyways, I was just like, yeah, I agree. Then they showed off Ghost Runner 2, and there is a demo available now if you want to try out Ghost Runner 2.
Nice.
It's on PlayStation and Steam and stuff, so you can try it out. Helldivers 2 was also shown off, and Helldivers 2 looks freaking amazing. Like, it just looks gorgeous. It also got delayed out of 2023, and it's now coming out in February 2024, right? Helldivers, you know, I mean, it's not like we're lacking in games right now, you know.
I know, exactly. We have a lot of stuff to play.
There's a huge drought happening, you know. There's nothing to play. Helldivers would have been great right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's coming out on the 8th of February 8th.
Okay, nice.
So be on the lookout for that. Looks amazing. It's going to be on PC and PlayStation, so
nice.
Be on the lookout for that. I'm excited to play because it looks incredible. Then they showed off more extra stuff of Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 continues to look amazing. I am kind of tired of seeing Spider-Man 2, though. Like, I just want to play the game, you know? I'm ready to play the game now.
I get that. That makes sense. After the demo, the long extended demo, you're like, okay, please don't show me anymore. Just
let me play the game, please.
Yeah, just let me play. Yeah.
And then they showed off Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn. I'm excited for this because I love Tales of Arise. JRPG. It's JRPG shit. So if you don't like JRPGs, you may not like it. But Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn DLC stuff. So I'm all there for it. I'll probably play it. I don't remember if there was a release date, and I'm not going to look it up. So. And then they showed off Foam Stars, if you remember Foam Stars.
Whoa, Foam Stars.
The Splatoon game that's going to be exclusive to PlayStation or whatever.
Wow.
They have an open beta happening soon. Again, didn't write the date down for that, so I apologize. But if you're interested in Foam Stars, there you go. Are you going to check it out, Ell?
No, no. Why lie?
Okay.
No.
And then they ended the State of Play with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth with its release date coming out on February 29th. It's a leap year in 2024.
Whoa.
So it's coming out on the 29th in 2024 of February.
Nice.
It looks amazing, looks beautiful.
Of course.
You know, Final Fantasy VII, what was it, remake, right?
Yeah.
What was the full name? Was that the name of it?
It something like that.
Looked pretty to begin with, and it continues to look pretty. So you're going to get another section of the story of Final Fantasy VII.
Nice.
They showed off a lot of like mini games too, like the Chocobo races and like this robot boxing thing, and some karaoke dancing stuff. You know, cool stuff. Are you into karaoke in video games? Did you like it and Sleeping Dogs?
Yeah, I actually did. The reason why I liked it because it made me laugh, just because of like it was taking, you know, it wasn't taken serious. It was just like, we're just having fun here. And so I thought it was hilarious. And then you would get like a girl behind you cheering you on, like, oh, you can sing, like, you know.
Yeah. What if I told you can get that in every Yakuza game?
What? I'm buying them all right now.
I know. Just for that part.
Just for that.
Yeah. They're also going to have it in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, so there you go.
Oh, hey, another game to add.
I know I just kind of rushed through this list of State of Play games, but I'm trying to. Nintendo had a lot up
Oh, I bet.
But I feel like this was a good like representation of the things that are coming out for the rest of this year, because you got Spider-Man, Ghost Runner, and stuff like that. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora coming out in December. Oh yeah, so I think they did like a really good job of showcasing what's left for PlayStation for the rest of the year, and then also highlighting, hey, we got some big games coming in early 2024 with it, Final Fantasy, Helldivers, all of that. So I think they did a really good job of like showcasing what's left, and then the first 2 months of 2024 as well, to get people excited for that, because I know like Final Fantasy VII is going to hit hard when it comes out in February. It's going to hit freaking hard. So that's why I give State of Play 4 out of 5. It was really good. And the pacing was really well done too. Like it was like a short 25-ish minutes around there. So like it didn't overstay its welcome. They showed off extended demos of like Helldivers and Spider-Man. And then they had a nice trailer for Final Fantasy, and then moved on. You know, it wasn't like okay, what's the point of any of this? Like I felt like with the Sony showcase they had back in May, where it was just like, okay, what's the point of any of this?
Yeah.
Because I'm still pretty negative on it. But this state of play was actually really good. I also wasn't expecting a state of play. They like announced it at the last second, so gotcha. That's the other thing for it too. So yeah,
nice.
And then the Nintendo Direct. They announced a bunch of stuff, and very similar to PlayStation, they did a really good job of like showcasing what's left for Nintendo, what's left for the rest of this year, and what's coming next year, because they have a lot of games that are going to be coming next year as well. So
nice.
Let's dive into this. They opened it with Splatoon 3 DLC. You know, Splatoon, still popular. People love it. Are you going to play Splatoon 3 at all?
No, not really. I'm not a big fan of Splatoon or Foam Stars.
Do you think Foam Stars is going to hit that level of Splatoon?
Never. I'm sorry.
I doubt it too. This next game is a new game, a remake of an old game.
Yeah,
Mario versus Donkey Kong.
Yes.
I never played those games, so I don't know if they're actually good. But Mario versus Donkey Kong.
I played the original. It was pretty fun for its time. It's a pretty fun game for its time. Very difficult, but I mean, for at the time it came out, I'm like, oh, this is probably like crazy amazing to those when it first came out.
Yeah. Are you going to play Mario versus Donkey Kong, or are you going to pass on it?
No, I'll probably pass on it just because it's like, it doesn't really feel like my type of game,
Yeah. Yeah, it's like more puzzly, right? It's like, yeah. I'm probably not gonna play it either, just because my Switch is just for Pokemon. Let's be real. They showed off Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which looks cool. Looked cool nice. when it got shown off a while ago. Looks cool now.
Nice.
Probably won't play this either, but that's also because I'm not a Metrovania person. So probably won't play this on any system, but there you go. Horizon Chase 2. This is a racing game. Looked fine. It had like a day one. It got announced and was like later this day, so you can go play now if you want. Super Crazy Rhythm Castle, which is a cool name.
I know.
It's a good old name there. I have no interest in this game at all. I don't even really remember what it was about, other than it's a rhythm game. And then the game that I think you're gonna love, Elle. I think you're gonna love it. I think you're gonna be all over it. Spy Anna Operation Memories. So this is a RPG where you just play as Anna in Spy Family.
Whoa!
You go to school as Anna and you try to live life as Anna.
Oh, wow!
So there you go. Are you gonna play it? Are you gonna play it?
No, I'm not gonna play.
Why not? You don't want more Spy Family?
No, I think the anime.
You don't want to go to school as Anna?
Yeah. No, I'm okay.
Why don't you want to? Well, come on.
Oh, Anya.
Anya, yeah.
Yeah, no.
You don't want to do that?
No, not really. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I think the anime and the...
I think you'll be fine.
The anime and if the movie hasn't come out already, the movie will be enough.
No, well, there you go. Then they showed off more Super Mario RPG. Super Mario RPG looks amazing, of course.
Of course.
They showed off a game collection, another code collection. I've never heard of these games before, so I actually have no idea, and I can't even remember what they looked like now that I read the name of the title. So, yeah, I have nothing to say about that. Are you a fan of Another Code? You love them?
I actually don't even know what that is.
Okay. Well, apparently they made it a point, and I do remember this. They made it a point in the trailer going, the first one is coming out, and the second one was never released in the U.S. So I was like, okay, cool. So they're finally getting both versions. Yeah. Then they showed off a brand new game featuring Peach, which is Princess Peach Showtime. It actually looked pretty cool. Nice. Like the different things. So like the idea is like, the theater gets overrun by bad guys, and Peach has to save the shows. And so she has like different costumes that she can put on. There's like a sword version of her where she can fight and stuff. Then there's the detective version where she can like look at clues and stuff and all that. So like you're going to be switching costumes and all that as you go along to meet the needs of the game and all that. It looked pretty cool. Looked simple and fun. I again probably won't ever play it, but it looked cool.
Yeah. Nice.
Then Saga Emerald Beyond. I know Saga is a popular game series. where it's like it's a JRPG where you have like multiple characters and choices that you can make and stuff. I want to play the like remastered collection that's out, but I haven't done it yet. I bought it, but I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
But I also bought it on PlayStation, not like Switch or anything. So, anyways, next up is Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remaster collection.
Wow.
You gonna try that out, Elle?
You know, probably not, but I do remember playing Tomb Raider. That was one of the first PlayStation games when it first came out that I played, and I thought it was pretty cool. But I never beat it because, you know, the way back in the day, and it's probably because it's a remaster, she moves very stiff and very directional. Like if you want to go a certain way, you have to like turn like a robot. But no, that's pretty cool though that they're remastering it.
Yeah. I'm probably never going to play either. I've never been a Tomb Raider fan, so I'm like, it's whatever. But hey, if you like Tomb Raider, there you go. You can play 1 through 3, the remasters. Nice. Then they showed off Detective Pikachu. Detective Pikachu Returns. And it's always off-putting to hear him talk. The voice of Pikachu is very weird. Also, the main human character. The main human character's name is Tim.
Tim.
That's such a boring name.
Yeah, it's a very boring name to be with Pikachu. That's very boring.
Yeah, sorry to all the Tims out there.
Tim and Pikachu.
Yeah, I just find it funny because like in the trailer it was like, will Tim and Pikachu solve the mystery? And it's like, I don't believe in Tim at all, so no. I don't think Tim can solve anything.
Hilarious.
And then they showed off Trombone Champ. This is a rhythm game where you play a trombone, and my God, the trailer, the music was awful. Like just because it's just a trombone, like that's all there is. Like not laid with anything. It's just the trombone, and it just sounds awful. Like. I'm sorry, trombones don't sound good if they're not mixed with other sounds.
That's so funny, yeah.
Like, because it just go watch the trailer, listen to it, you'll be like, what the hell?
I think I've seen people play it where like people will take other songs and it's like, it's just like very like, oh, you're like, what is happening?
Like they highlight it. Yeah, and they highlighted that you can have 4 players play it. I'm like, I don't want to listen to 4 trombones.
Oh my God, can you imagine? Like, 4 trombones at the same time?
I don't even want to listen to one unless it's like mixed with other stuff. Like, it's just no. So fun. Like, why?
Seems like a troll game.
Yeah, and like I imagine this is going to get very annoying very quickly for like parents of kids that want to play this. Like,
turn that down.
I'm imagining like a young Jesus becomes obsessed with Trombone Champ and then just plays it and annoys the hell out of his mom and dad. You know?
Yeah.
Run into my sister's room and play it while she's trying to do whatever the hell teenage Jackie was doing at the time. Anyways, a little bit of my life. They showed off Battle Crush, which is I believe it was a battle royale. I can't remember.
Okay.
It didn't look that great. Then they showed off War Tales, which I have War Tales on PC through Steam. It's a fun game. It's a very fun game. It's you like build like a squad and you're like traveling through the world and trying to survive in a world and stuff like that. It's cool. Unicorn Overload was next, and this is a JRPG that looked really freaking cool. The art style was incredible for it, so I highly encourage folks to go watch that trailer because it looked amazing. The name, not that great. Unicorn Overlord, that's a stupid ass name. Hilarious. That's a stupid name. But visually, it looks amazing. I hope I wrote that name right down. Wrote that name down right. I just butchered the name completely. It's not even its name. But we're going to say it is because that's what I wrote down. Nice. Then next up was Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Nice. Did you ever play the Luigi's Mansion games?
The original, the first one. And I played it a little bit, but never beat it. But I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah.
I know Luigi's Mansion 2 was only on like the 3DS, I believe. Yeah. So it's coming over to console.
Nice.
Now. And then they took a little break between games to show off the Nintendo Museum that's being built in... I think it was Osaka, right? No.
Whoa.
Or was it Kyoto? I think it was Osaka. Nintendo Museum. Hold on. Let me look this up real quick.
Okay.
I didn't write down the details, but yeah, they showed off their museum that they're building. It's expected to open in March of 2024.
Oh, Kyoto.
Kyoto. So it's being built in Kyoto. Okay.
Nice.
Awesome. And yeah, so they were like, they just showed like the outside of it and like a model of it and stuff. And they were like, yeah, you can come here and look at the entire history of Nintendo through the years and stuff. So I was like, that's cool. Yeah. Being in Japan now, like maybe when March rolls around, I'll go check it out, you know, because I'm sure that's going to be a very hot destination for a lot of people to check out, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So like if you come to Japan next year, you know,
oh, it'd be cool. Just go to Nintendo.
Yeah, go to the Nintendo Museum. Then they had a bunch of amiibos. I don't know why I put amiibos in.
Amiibos.
Amiibos. They announced a bunch of amiibos for like Tears of the Kingdom and then another game that I can't remember. But then they also finally finished the entire collection of amiibos for Smash Bros. By having a Sora amiibo. So that was the big one. Sora's finally amiibo from, you know, Kingdom Hearts. Yeah. I know people have been wanting that for a while, just like people have been wanting Sora to be in Super Smash Bros. And all that.
Gotcha.
So are you a fan of Sora? Are you going to get the Sora amiibo?
No, you know, for me, I never understood the point of amiibos because I know you could do certain things with them in video games, but like I never got into them. Yeah.
Neither did I. I did want to get the Pokemon ones, but that's I love Pokemon. So, and then I feel like we had this conversation a while ago about F-Zero, but they introduced F-Zero 99.
I did.
And our conversation, I believe, was like, are they ever going to release another F-Zero game? Yeah. And I think we both said no. Because I think we both said it was like irrelevant.
Yeah,
but here we are.
Surprise.
F-Zero 99. So this is like the this is like Tetris 99 and Mario 99 and stuff like that, where you just 99. It's a battle royale and you just try to get first place in a race and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So
I think that's so cool.
It looked cool. And it's free to play if you have a Nintendo online membership, so you can go play now and all of that stuff at no extra cost other than the subscription fee. So
nice.
I haven't tried it yet. I probably won't try it because I just don't care about F-Zero, but you know, it is what it is. Are you going to try it out?
Oh, definitely. I think it's pretty fun because I saw a little bit of a highlight of the F-Zero 99. I think it's funny to see the chaos of the screen of all the other players racing on the same map. Yeah. I thought that was pretty fun and pretty cool.
Yeah, because like some like blow up and stuff. Because like like you take too much damage, you just blow up, and when you blow up, you damage everybody around you and stuff. So it like cause a chain reaction and stuff.
Exactly,
yeah, it's wild. But yeah, I've watched streamers as well play it. I'm like, it looks cool. I'm just never gonna play it. Nice. So yeah, and then we got 2 League of Legends games coming out. We have the Bundle Tale. I don't remember anything about this from the trailer. From what I can't remember anything about it. And then we have Song of Nunu. I think I might have spelled that wrong. But they're League of Legends story games. They were bright and colorful. That's all I can remember of them. So if you're into League of Legends, you get some cool looking games, I guess. Then there was Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Looked fine. This is like a the series is very popular, but this is a what is that game called? The Fire Emblem. It's like a Fire Emblem-esque game. So yeah, you have like heroes and stuff that you're controlling and all of that stuff, and it looks cool. Then there was Eastward Octopia, which is a DLC, I believe, for Eastward. It looks fine. It's a pixel arts like farming game, I believe. I might have gotten that wrong. But it looks fine. I know it's popular. I know people liked it when it came out, and all that jazz. Yeah, it's an action adventure role playing game. So and people enjoyed it when it came out. So yeah, it's getting DLC. So
nice.
Or an expansion. I don't know if this is an expansion or DLC. I can't remember. Anyways, I'm moving on now. They also showed off Wargroove 2. Have you ever played Wargroove at all?
No, I actually never heard of it.
Yeah, I've never heard of it either. So moving on from that, Nintendo Switch is getting the hot game of the year, one of the hottest games of the year, Dave the Diver. So you can cool off in the ocean with Dave the Diver. Are you going to finally get Dave the Diver?
Probably, finally, because I have been meaning to play it, but I've just been so busy with all these other great games.
Yeah, it's just like, man, there's just so many good games. And like Dave the Diver is one of those indie games that came out that's like that just took the world by storm because like it has like an overwhelmingly positive score on Steam, and then it has like a 94 on OpenCritic. Like it's amazing, like just like the love that Dave the Diver has on out there. Yeah, overwhelmingly positive with 52,000
Wow.
reviews.
Crazy.
So yeah, people love Dave the Diver, and so good on Switch for getting it. I'm sure it's probably coming everywhere too, but it was nice to see it coming to Switch. So
Nice.
definitely check it out if you can. And then they showed off the final DLC for Mario Kart.
Nice.
I confessed, I was watching this when I was at my I was watching this while I was doing something. I can't remember. Oh, I had this on the background of spoiler, because I had COVID this week. I was teaching virtually, and
you had it in the background.
I had this playing in the background. Yeah, I had this in the background, so I wasn't really paying attention. So I didn't catch the maps, but I did pop for the character reveals because they revealed 4 new characters coming.
Yep.
Diddy Kong,
Nice.
Funky Kong,
Okay.
Pauline, and Peachette.
Nice.
No, not Peachette. Yeah, Peachette. Was it Peachette? It was Peach something.
It was
But,
Peach, yeah. Peachette.
But yeah, so you get Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, Pauline, and Peachette coming. I love Diddy Kong, so
Of course.
I'm all for it. Give me Diddy Kong Racing, baby. I need Diddy Kong Racing.
Diddy Kong Racing. He should have been there from the beginning. Diddy Kong.
Yeah, I agree. Did you ever play Diddy Kong Racing?
Oh yeah, man, I loved Diddy Kong Racing. It was so fun. That's when it was like very wholesome. Before you really, before Conker's Bad for a Day and Conker's in that game. Banjo's in that game.
Banjo's in the game. Yep.
It's
I'm Banjo.
Yeah,
That's what he would say anytime.
Banjo. Exactly.
Yeah, you click over his character. He's like, I'm Banjo.
Yeah, they should have remake that or remaster it.
Yeah, the downside is that I mean, maybe because Microsoft plays nice with Nintendo.
Oh yeah,
maybe they
that's
could
right.
bring Banjo and Conker in there because like they did Nintendo did remaster it, I believe, for the 3DS. I want to say.
Okay.
But they didn't have Banjo or Conker in it. They like replaced them with other characters.
Gotcha.
Because like you couldn't have them.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, but I would love a Diddy Kong Racing game again. Bring it back. Just bring it back. It's so much fun. It was like simpler. It was like simpler and easier than Mario Kart.
Way easier, way simpler.
So yeah, and then from that they showed off a new map for Among Us.
Whoa.
So for Among Us folks, if you like Among Us, there's a new map. All right, did you ever get into Among Us, Ell?
I played it for a little bit when it was first started to be like the hot thing at the time because everybody was stuck in because of pandemic and stuff, and so I played it for a little bit, but after a while it's like it got a little boring to me, and I just kind of didn't really keep playing it.
Yeah. I bought it once for my D&D group because they all wanted to play Among Us. I bought it to play with them, and then they never played it. So I wasted like what, $10, something like that. Maybe not even $10. I think it's like cheaper than that, but however much I paid for it, I was like, it's one of those things where I was like, I bought this to play with you guys.
That's so funny.
And then we never fucking played it. The hell, guys. But it was during the height of the pandemic and stuff.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So people were like, oh yeah, let's play Among Us. And then instead of playing it, they all decided that we were just going to play the Jackbox games, one of the Jackbox games and stuff. And I was just like, oh, guys, I bought this fucking, anyways. Well, it's too late now. I could have probably returned it at the time, but I definitely can't do it now because it's been years. Because I don't. Let's see how many hours did I. Let's see. Did I put any hours into this?
5. You have 2 minutes. No.
I'm very curious. Among Us.
No, 0 minutes. You have like 30 seconds.
I have an hour and.
Oh, okay.
It's 1.2. It's 1.2. So I have 1.2 hours. Okay. So I did play it at some point. Yeah. I just didn't play with my D&D group.
Oh.
So. Anyways, moving on from Among Us, they ended the show with Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. So it's a remaster of it came out on the GameCube, right? The Thousand-Year Door. Mm-hmm. It is probably it's probably the best version of Paper Mario. I actually do like this. I love Paper Mario, and I love Paper Mario, or I love Mario RPG, and I love Paper Mario because they're both RPGs. And so I'm just excited for it. It's coming out next year as well. So I think they're like, again, Nintendo did a really good job because like I didn't give release dates for a lot of these, but it's a mix of games coming out this year and next year. So
nice.
And they Nintendo did a really good job of again showcasing what's left for this year, and then what's going to happen within the first like 3-4 months of next year as well. And there's a lot to look forward to. Like if you're like deep into like Mario stuff, you're going to get Super Mario RPG. You're going to get Princess Peach Showtime. You're going to get Paper Mario and all that. And, F-Zero, I think, was a big highlight because like it was one of those things that F-Zero 99 and it's available today type of situation, So yeah, plenty of good stuff to go for it. If you want to play Mario versus Donkey Kong, that's coming out stuff. If you want to play Spy, Anya, Operation Memories. Live life as Anya at school.
Oh my gosh.
All that stuff. You can do that too. I know Al's going to secretly play it. He says he's not going to, but I know like deep down he's going to be like, I'm going to play this. And it's going to be a secret. I'm not going to tell anybody, but we all know. I got
all the achievements. No.
Yeah. Well, I'll see it on Steam one day and just be like, oh yeah, he's playing it. I knew it. You bastard, you can't hide from me. I knew you were going to play it. But yeah, plenty of good games. For the Nintendo Direct, I would also give it a 4 out of 5.
Nice.
While the majority of the games didn't really hit for me.
Yeah.
I do think there was a good like cadence to it. I do think like the big games that were shown hit for me. Like, am I going to play Princess Peach Showtime? Probably not, but it looked awesome. Like, yeah. I'm excited for people to be able to play it. The Unicorn Overlord looked amazing. The F-Zero, probably not going to play it myself, but that was still a cool thing to see. Like, it's available today and all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I know people are going to play it because people have been clamoring for an F-Zero for a while. So I'm like, hell yeah, you get your F-Zero stuff. And then, Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door. I love Paper Mario, so I'm excited to play a version of it that doesn't require me to hunt down a GameCube, So
exactly.
And then Super Mario RPG looks amazing as it did before. They showed off a little bit more stuff for it, like more gameplay elements and stuff for it. But yeah. So overall, though, I would give Nintendo Direct a 4 out of 5. I might be overly generous because I'm just, I was dying with COVID, so maybe this is all maybe this all sucked. I don't know, but hilarious. I would say both the State of Play and the Nintendo Direct were both really good. I was pleasantly surprised because like both kind of like they both got announced like the day before they were going to happen. So it was like, oh yeah, not really too much time to really predict what's going to happen. Really, yeah. Do you like that, having them like just announce something? Oh yeah, we're going to do a show tomorrow. Or do you want like more time ahead of time, like that we got back in May when it was like, oh yeah, in a month we're going to do.
I think I don't have a preference either way because I think with the way that they did it, it felt like a surprise, like a big surprise. Like, oh, okay, they have a direct to announce all these upcoming things. And the other, if they were to say, hey, we're going to do it a week from now, I think that you build a little anticipation as to what they could be announcing. Yeah. And so I think either way, I think it's fine. It's always cool when they announce upcoming projects.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I kind of like it being the day before because it's like, oh, something cool is going to happen tomorrow.
Exactly.
Let's do it. But then it's like, but then it does take away like the weeks of anticipation, like where you can talk with your friends. Sorry, my throat still hurts, so my voice just broke here. I don't know if that's been happening throughout this, but it probably has been. But anyways, but being able to like speculate with your friends and stuff like beforehand, or just like reading discourse on and be like, oh, what could be here, and then seeing the leaks and stuff because the leaks inevitably happen. But yeah, there was 2 things that I forgot to talk to you about that I want to do real quick. So Elle, tell me, based off of these lists of games that I just did, what are you looking forward to the most? So
the 2 I say that I'm looking forward to the most for the State of Play, definitely Helldivers 2 is definitely one that I'm looking forward to because I think from the trailers when they was first announced, I thought it looked really cool. I'll say even Ghost Runner 2 looked pretty cool because I know Ghost Runner 1 was a pretty fun game, but I still put Helldivers 2 over that. Aside from State of Play, Spider-Man is cool. I'm just tired of seeing Spider-Man. I just want it to come out already.
Yeah, it's
just like I'm just tired of seeing like this is what's going to happen or this is what we have. I'm like, just give it to us already.
Yeah, just let me play it. Yeah.
Exactly. For the Nintendo Direct, the ones that I'm looking forward to the most, I will be playing Super Mario RPG. I think that looks amazing. I think that looks great. That's an amazing one. I'll say even the F-Zero 99, I thought that was really cool. I will definitely play it for a little bit. Probably not for long, but it's still a fun idea and a fun way to bring back F-Zero. And then I thought it was really cool with the DLC for Mario Kart. I've been waiting for Diddy Kong to come into Mario Kart. I thought that was great. Finally, they brought him back. Also, I'll say lastly, Paper Mario. I thought that was pretty cool because Paper Mario is definitely a classic if you were there for the original Paper Mario. And it's cool that they're bringing it back.
Yeah, I agree. So the two things I want to do before we roll off, because I forgot to include these. We had two big games come out this week. Or well, they're coming out next week, but the reviews dropped this week because early access stuff. The first one is Lies of P. Yeah. I'm not going to dive into any particular reviews right now, but right now it has an 82 on OpenCritic.
Nice.
IGN gave it an 8 out of 10. And then the lowest score that I'm seeing is from PC Gamer. They gave it a 74 out of 100. So if you're into Lies of P, it's reviewing really well. It's at an 82% on OpenCritic. And then the other one is the big one, Mortal Kombat 1.
Oh, yeah.
Currently sitting, it's probably going to fluctuate because it only has 20 reviews right now on OpenCritic, but it's sitting at an 88 on OpenCritic. So not quite hitting as hard as Street Fighter did a couple of months ago when Street Fighter 6 came out. Yeah. But Mortal Kombat's still doing really well. And it's ranging from 8s and 9s and 10s right now. So it's getting good reviews. So again, I'm sure Mortal Kombat 1 is going to fluctuate as the days go on, but reviews have started dropping for Mortal Kombat 1. And that comes out next week. Both of them, Lies of P and Mortal Kombat 1 come out next week. So be on the lookout for that on September 19th. So on Tuesday, I'm excited about both games. I'm going to try to play Lies of P if my laptop can handle it.
Nice.
And then I'm going to probably watch a ton of people play Mortal Kombat 1. I think I've already told you I'm going to watch that inevitably someone's going to make the compilation of all the cutscenes for Mortal Kombat. So I'm just going to watch that probably. But I'm excited for both those games because I love the Lies of P demo. And then I like the idea of Mortal Kombat because I love the lore of Mortal Kombat more than I actually like playing the games, So
yeah, I get that. No, definitely. I was going to say, I'm excited for Lies of P because I know it comes out in 2 days, if I remember correctly, on the 17th.
The 19th.
Oh, the 19th, so 4 days. So I'm excited for that to come out because that, I think it's basically going to be like a sleeper hit. Maybe not game of the year, but I still think it's going to be a great game. Mortal Kombat 1, everything I've been seeing from it, like whether it be social media or just online of like the story or just like the gameplay of it, it looks amazing. It looks like... It's the way that Street Fighter came back strong. This one came back strong as well, even though I feel like it has a little bit less of an impact than Street Fighter, but I still think it looks great and amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Looking forward to seeing folks play next week. And this is this year, man. This is 2023. Why is this year so good? Like
I don't know.
Every month has had a banger. Some cases. Yeah. Like in the case of September, we had multiple bangers. Because Starfield, Lies of P, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Come on, Sea of Stars was. Let's say it was September because it came out on the last day of August, right?
Yeah,
Might as well just say it was.
Exactly.
Might as well just say it was September.
Exactly.
But even then, like was Baldur's Gate 3 and Sea of Stars, if you really want to go like that. So plenty of bangers for folks to play, I'm looking forward to seeing what it's going to be like in October with all of the other games.
I know.
It's Alan Wake, Spider-Man, Forza, the Mario Super Mario version, whatever it's called. Not RPG, but the Super Mario Wonder comes out as well. So next month is a banger of a month too. I think the non-banger of the month, unless you want Avatar Frontier of Pandora, is December. So because November you get your Call of Duty and stuff like that. So it's gonna it's gonna hit hard because it's Call of Duty. But even then you get the Super Mario RPG and stuff in November. So man, these like it's just such a good year. Like, come on,
man.
Come on.
One of the best
You know,
in a while.
You know what would make my life better and make me happy if like
Oh boy,
next week the developers for Hollow Knight Silksong were like, hey guys, guess what? Shadow dropped. It's available right now.
Oh no.
December. It's going to be available in December, y'all.
Wow.
Last day of December, 31st. There's no chance that we're going to delay it into 2024.
Yeah.
Because I need it on my fantasy game critics.
I know.
Your Lies of P stuff is about to be submitted in on the 19th, and you're going to get. Looks like you're going to get 12 points.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I looked at it the other day and I was like, oof, okay. I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, all I have led I really have no hope of catching up unless Spider-Man 2 and Forza are like 10 out of 10 perfect games.
Hilarious.
Like,
yeah.
So anyway, I need pretty much every game on my list to like get above 90, right? So
yeah.
I can get the bonus points.
Exactly.
I don't think that's going to happen. It might happen with Forza. I have more faith in happening for Forza than I do Spider-Man, just because Forza is like all Forza games review really well. So
yeah,
granted,
exactly.
Spider-Man 2 is probably going to review really well, but yeah. Hollow Knight Silksong just needs to come out, or they need to tell me that it's not coming out, so I can drop it and pick up Alan Wake 2.
Exactly.
Let me announce it that it's not coming out in 2024, so I can drop it and then go pick up Alan Wake 2 and be happy that I have Alan Wake 2. God damn. But then watch, like that happens, I pick up Alan Wake 2 and it's like abysmal and it's like a 40.
Oh no, I
don't think that will happen, but
yeah.
I don't think that'll happen. Anyways, Al, wrap us up. I'm rambling.
Well, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in to Respawn Please podcast, which you will be able to catch live every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. You can also catch the edited version on our YouTube here at Respawn Please podcast. Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified of future videos, like and share it. If you want to listen to us on the go, we're available everywhere you get podcasts. So Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Make sure to follow us on social media on TikTok and Instagram at Respawn Please Podcast. And thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. And Review Please Video Game Edition will be coming soon. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to review Arcade Paradise.
Yes.
And then Sea of Stars and Starfield.
Yep.
Those are our next three reviews. So be on the lookout for that. No set dates for any of those. Oh yeah. The goal is for Arcade Paradise to be out before the end of September, and then Sea of Stars and Starfield whenever we can get to them.
Exactly.
There's both games. There's a lot to play with those. So
exactly.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for that, and we may have other games that we reviewed this year. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. But just be on the lookout for that. Also be on the lookout for anime. Review Please Anime Edition.
Yep.
We have The Great Pretender coming up.
Oh, yeah.
And then another, and then Ranking of Kings.
Oh, yeah.
And then a little beautiful anime that we haven't announced yet, I don't think. So
no, I don't think we did.
I'll keep for December. I think I've only texted you what I want to do for December. So
I forgot, but yes.
It was robots.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Trying to like be as big as possible. Someone's going to know though. They're going to be like, "Oh, you guys are going to do this one." And it's exactly. Like, how'd you know? Like, I just said robots. What does that even mean? Anyways.
Exactly. I know specifically which one you're talking about.
We're going to review Metabots. Do you remember that show? Metabots?
Yeah, with Metabee. Yeah, I remember Metabots.
Yeah, Metabee. Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
They had little, back in the day at Taco Bell when I was a kid, you could get like little chips, and they had like a little watch that you could put them in. It did nothing. It was just like a little piece of cardboard or something, but it was at Taco Bell. It was so cool. Anyways,
so funny.
Have a good night, y'all. Or a good day, whatever. Bye.
Bye.